Oh, Siddharth, you're there or? Okay, we'll start. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Capacity Building E-Series, day 2. And we have with us Mrs. Harvinder Kaur and Mr. Sachdeva. Siddharth, will you please come on the screen and...
Yeah, I'm there. Shall I start?
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. A warm welcome to the Day 2 Capacity Building E-Series. I'm Siddharth, the convener of Youngsters Entrepreneur Nexus. This forum is started by me and my friend Mirang. We have appeared in class 12 boards and in between CBSE postponed the exams due to the outbreak of COVID that triggered the thought of creating Youngsters Entrepreneur Nexus. We are extremely thankful to Career Beacon for providing this opportunity to host today's session. Our mentors, Kavita ma'am and Sunanda ma'am, have guided us in each step, and today we feel pride that we have successfully hosted the personality development sessions masterclass to unleash the potential and learning capsules. And soon we are coming up with the India's first public speaking contest for the students, the Gen Talks. Now I would like to welcome Ms. Kavita Rai, Associate Editor, Career Beacon, and the counseling psychologist, and our esteemed speakers and enthusiastic audience to the Day 2 Capability Series. Kavita ma'am, kindly take over from here. Thank you.
Thank you, Siddharth, and welcome everyone to the Capacity Building Series. And we are really, great to have Mrs. Harvinder Kaur and Mr. Sachdeva with us. And before that, I'd like to... Okay, so this is the day 2 for the Capacity Building A-Series. And during this pandemic, our motive of this whole theme is basically to how we can, curb teachers burnout during this pandemic. This pandemic has thrown all educators into a unknown territory, unknown playground, and everybody is working and growing every day together. During the 7-day series, we have 11 speakers with us who will be joining us. And today we have with us Mr. Surendra Sachdeva and Mr. Harvinder Kaur. I'll be introducing them. Before that, I like to thank our partners who are always there with us and supporting us in bringing these things together. Youngster Entrepreneur Nexus, YEN, K12 News, National Career Counselors Network, Kids Bytes, and the conceptualization partner Concept. They are always there to bring such enriching sessions for everyone. We have with us Mrs. Harvinder Kaur. She is a principal at Senior Secondary School JP Group. She is a student, teacher, educationist, mother, and a wife. In a total experience, she has over 23 years of experience. She has played varied roles in schools, such as principal, vice principal, house mistress, overall coordinator, and teacher. Her formal education comprises of BA, BEd, double MA, diploma in IT and career counseling, and presently she is pursuing MA from Maharishi Dayanand University, Rohtak. She is a lifelong learner. Mrs. Harvinder Kaur is presently working as a principal of one of the K12 school of JP Group. With her vast experience of 23 years in the field of education and being from the army background, she had the opportunity to deal with students and teachers from varied social culture and economic background. Welcome, Harvinder ji.
Thank you so much, Kavita, for this beautiful introduction. In fact, I'm really thankful to you all, especially to Career Beacon, Sunanda ji, to you, and all other partner of yours.
My pleasure.
Pleasure
Our
is mine.
pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
So we have with us Principal Mr. Surendra Sachdeva. He is a competent administrator is a postgraduate in mathematics, an MBA in educational administration, and an advisor for NCERT textbooks. Recipient of numerous awards in the field of education, he has led DPS Bhopal to #1 position in the state of Gujarat. A visionary, Mr. Sachdeva has turned this pandemic into a wave of opportunity in edifying the academic arena. Seamless classes, course and training to upskill teachers, webinars, and by the student, inter-school competition, periodic examinations, admission process, administrative work, addressing parents, activities for students during the summer break, etc. Already online effortlessly. The school is future ready with sanitizers and all safety measures. Welcome, Mr. Sachdeva.
Thank you, Kavita. Thank you so very much for inviting me to this platform, and I'm looking forward.
Definitely, it's a pleasure to have you both with us with such a vast experience, and definitely we'll have really fruitful and enlightening session today. So, as the topic says for today is social distancing in school and focus on mental health and how important is it. We all are aware of it. So I will be putting up some questions to you we have received. And definitely all the educators who are with us, they will definitely have something or other to take away and to learn from your experiences and your leadership. So Harvinder ji, I'd like to ask you first question. In this unprecedented time, a lot of people are in trauma and world is changing rapidly and we are advised to maintain distance socially. What tips you have first for adults to cope up with this?
Very good question, Kavita ji. As Aristotle says, man is a social animal and we all are wired for connections. And when we know that some kind of social distance we have to maintain, it really challenges us. And my tip for adults is, first of all, we all must acknowledge that yes, we are into this pandemic. Then we must really acknowledge the feelings which we all are going through. I would say it is normal to feel sad. It is normal to feel anxious. It is normal to feel frustrated, and at times it is also normal to be angry, because we all are human beings, and we really have to be kind towards ourselves, and we must find ways so that we come out of these feelings. You know, our body generates certain kind of chemicals, so we have to regulate our emotions, and for that we have to really work towards it. We all are working from home, and we all are hard pressed. As adults, we as family members, we have to look after the families also. We have to take care of our work also. So we have to make a kind of balance between this, and we have to, if we do not physically work towards the betterment of our bodies, it will also have effects not only on us physically, it will also have effects on our emotions and to our relationships also. So my tip is, we all work for the betterment of our physical growth, for our mental growth, and we have to maintain a kind of balance between our work and our family front.
Definitely, the key is to balance out the things. And
Yes.
If I come to the children, I'll ask you, how should we talk to our children about this, and how should we be listening to them also? Because I think we all are here for the, we are all dealing with children. So if you can really guide us on that.
Very good question, especially the listening part. See, our children, when we are working at home, at times we feel they are not listening to us. They are not they're not knowing what's going on in our lives. But they are very, very intelligent and observant. They definitely listen to our conversations, to our teleconversations. Even they know when physically we are not fit. So even if they're not asking us, something is really going on in their minds also, because they are too observant. And it is not wrong to, as a parent, as to know the fact, to know what is going on in their mind. So as a parent, it becomes our duty to tell them at our problems, our schedules, what we are going through. You will find when you are discussing these things with children, you will feel that they are not listening to you. They're not paying attention towards your conversation. But you will realize something or the other is going on and on in their minds. That time they might walk away. They might not give you any answer. But once you will have some leisure time, some family time, or during the bedtime, they will definitely ask you. They will come out with their kind of fears and anxieties. So that is the time we must listen to our children. We must give them a patient hearing, and we must answer their questions by coming down to their level. And once we know that the child is trying to share his feelings, you listen to him. As it is rightly said, whatever is shareable is bearable. So the child will definitely share when you will give patient hearing, when he will know that mama or papa, they are giving me importance to my feelings, my emotions, and that is the time you listen and to work accordingly for their physical as well as emotional growth, which is, I think, need of the hour also, to listen to the emotional side of the youngsters. Children at any level, be it they are very small, 6-year-old, 7-year-old, even if they are adolescent. So we must give them a patient hearing. That is very, very important.
So truly said. With children, the key word is patience, and you have rightly touched about the emotions of our kids. So I'd like to go to Mr. Surendra Sachdeva ji. Sir, I'd like to ask you how closure of schools have affected the young minds emotionally. Sir, if you can unmute, please.
I would say blessing in disguise. Schools were never considered so important in past, especially in COVID-19. So very fertile and impressionable minds our kids have. They not only react to the situation, but take the cue from the adults too. So all the negative emotional impacts, anxiety, loneliness, depression, anger, is there in the children. If we as adults have not dealt with these cases reasonably. So let's be the role model. Hence, the role of parents and teachers become very, very important. As a parent, keep children busy, help them schedule their day, add some time to physical activities. Preferred, join them, help them take up a particular hobby, give small assignments with household works, cook together, clean together. And as a teacher, as a coach, a tutor, a counselor, and a mentor, teacher becomes very, very important today. Regular calls to the parents, students, regular group meetings, online through Google, Zoom, with students and parents, creating social contacts among the students by project-based learning and the groups, recognizing the need and recommending to the counselors in case any student's family is not well, keeping in touch with them, other than regular teaching, teaching out to students on call if some students have any network issues. These are all important measures. I think this is the time when kids are really mentally affected, emotionally affected. It is the duty of each and every parent to ensure that kids are enrolled and engaged, like extra co-curricular activities. At the same time, there are some positive sides also. Students are becoming more independent. Parents are getting associated with studies in their wards more directly. Teachers are getting feedback from the parents and students. They are helping them to become more student oriented, especially, teachers used to be one side communication. Now I think time has come when teachers are feeling that we need to work on students oriented programs, and this is what is happening. And I think though kids are affected emotionally, but at the same time, teachers and schools, they have come up with some good plans. Kavita, I request you, you can mute everybody when guests are speaking. Yes, Kavita. Unmute yourself, Kavita.
So, sir rightly said that, as an adult, it's our responsibility how we act, how we behave, and we are the role models for the kids. What they see, they learn from us, and keeping them engaged is definitely should be the key point for the teachers, parents, and all the people associate with the kids. If I ask you that for students, school means coming together, playing together, and team building activities. How socially distancing is understood by children, by the students?
I think the word social distancing, I think, should be changed. Right? Why social distancing? Right? We need to be very, very close to each other, especially in these times. So instead of using the word social distancing, use physical distancing. Yes,
Right, sir.
students do miss action. For them, going out, meeting friends, talking face to face, sports, groups are very, very important. No doubt they are missing all these, at times not able to do all these activities that can lead to disconnect. Socializing and being in the presence of others is of profound importance for all physical and emotional well-being. But what is important to note that even though socially distant, students are not lonely. They are connected to their friends through messages, phones, WhatsApp, school activities. That is why I said, let us change the slogan from social distancing to physical distancing. Some online games like Ludo, Kahoot, etc. are helping all these kids to get reconnected. So no more social distancing, but yes, stay away from each other physically, but stay connected.
Definitely, I totally agree with you that it is not the social distancing. We can still stay socially connected. Only it's a physical distance that we need to teach the kids. It's just a physical distance you have to maintain. You are still connected. You can talk to your friends and be part of play with them. Definitely. Harvinder ji, now I like to come to with the parents. Right now, kids are at home, online learnings are happening. I like to ask you on this challenging thing. Even parents are facing a problem to balance out the work, and definitely they are more engaged now with the kids, and they have learning needs, especially with the younger kids. They have to sit and engage with them, involve with them. If you can please tell us, how can we as a parents can balance between the structures, kids education needs, and how to make sure that we do not overburden ourselves as a parent. It's an overwhelming situation for the parents also. I think please unmute yourself, Harvinder ji. I can't hear you.
Now is it okay?
Yes.
Okay. Very good question, Kavita ji. In fact, it is very, very important to keep balance in life. Now, it has become more important for all the working parents. If I talk about the parents, it is right, they are also overburdened. They are doing so many things independently. They're working from home. At the same time, as a parent, something is really going on in their minds. It is the worry, we can say, is always their children should not lag behind as far as their study is concerned. So, children at every stage, they feel safe when their life is organized. Even though teachers are doing their job more than 100%, they are putting in, management, everybody, every organization is working so hard for the betterment of the students. But it's right, parents are also worried at the same time, because they're working from home. At times they're not able to give attention to their children. But I feel personally they must schedule their things. They must have uh, they must sit together. They must plan their day along with the children, and it becomes easier for the parents and becomes more, you can say, lively for the children when they are also involved in making the timetable or making the schedule. And when parents are working, they also need some kind of break. So they must be taking body breaks when they must be doing some kind of physical activity or some kind of physical work also at home. They should also have one relationship break. So when they have this kind of relationship break, they must come and look into the matter as far as children are concerned. What are they doing? Are they studying well? Are they the classes which are going on online? Are they attending to those classes properly or not? And wherever some kind of assistance is required from the parent side, they must give that kind of assistance. And when children, they know that they are working, they are studying under some kind of supervision, things will definitely improve. And parents also, when they will see that their children are doing well, and they will also be able to concentrate more as far as the work is concerned. So that is why maintaining this kind of balance and taking these kind of fruitful breaks are very important for both children as well as for parents.
Yeah, I agree with you more than anything. Like, routine is very much needed in our lives, be it pandemic or no pandemic. We all were having some routine that was followed, and we were very comfortable in that. Only thing, our routine has to be redone. It has to be reworked. Routine was always there earlier also, and in this overwhelming situation, we have to come with a new routine. And definitely relationship take, very beautifully said, parent child relationship needs that time and to flourish, to nurture. And although we always have rule breakers also. So Harvinder ji, I have a question for you. uh, we hear a lot of that teens are still going out to party, to meet friends. They are not listening. What tips would you like to share with them, and how we should talk to these kind of students or their parents, how to align them with the thought that yes, we have to maintain that physical distance?
See, very good question. Again, very good question. Teenagers at times, they feel, and it is fact also, physically they are quite strong, and they feel that nothing is going to happen. And it's right also. Nothing should happen to our teenagers, our children. No harm should happen to any person. But since they are in this age group, they feel that they have strength and they can fight with anything. And we as parents, we must sit with them, talk to them, tell them ki, yes, we know you are very strong, nothing wrong will happen to you, but as a member of a responsible society, it is our duty to look after the others also. If we are sitting at home, if we are adhering to all kinds of rules and regulations, we are not only doing welfare to ourselves. In a way, we are also contributing towards the betterment of the society also. There are people, those who are vulnerable. There are people, those who are working out, those who are working day and night for us. Take example of our healthcare workers, people, those who are involved in essential services. They are working. Our old parents, elders at home, we must talk to, our children are very smart. When you talk to them, when you tell them, they have that kind of, they are empathetic. They understand. When we'll say, if you go out, nothing will go wrong to you. But once you come back, God forbid, if that virus comes along with you, you have old parents, grandparents, it might affect them. And if they get infected, so it will be difficult for them to get out of this scenario. So when we will talk to them, listen to them, and we will take them along with us and share our thoughts, our feelings, definitely they will listen to us.
We have to be, they are full of josh.
Yeah.
Only thing, they have to be, made responsible. Teach them how to be responsible. Teach how to be empathetic. So, and patience is a key, definitely, with the teens. We just can't order them. Rightly said, beautifully put that into words. Now, as we have come to teens, I would like Mr. Surendra Sachdevaji to please let us know about that the CBSE exams have created a lot of flutter among the students. And recently it has been all cancelled. When I've listened so many friends, kids, they are not happy about it. And I like to understand why, about the exams, why such a thing is there, and why these exams are necessary. It has been cancelled, but students still feel it is necessary. They are not happy about it. And overall, also about the assessment, what do you feel about it?
I request all of you to mute yourself, please, because a lot of people are speaking all together. Assessment is very, very important component of education. So that is why it has been given different kind of names. So the one name which was very, very prominent during CCE was formative assessment. Why this is called formative assessment means whatever we have learned, right, we must test ourselves whether we have understood or not. So with the help of formative assessment, kids, they improve themselves, try to learn better and better. So assessments are necessary. Exams are necessary. We cannot get away from this, and we should not rather, right? But now worries, I would say no worries, nothing. So all this happening in CBSE is but natural, because it was the duty of CBSE to conduct examination in the month of March. When suddenly there was lockdown, so there was no choice to postpone the exam. So this is called, I would say, being very, very optimistic. So when there was Janta curfew on 22nd of March, and then there was lockdown for 15 days, 30 days, 45 days. So there has to be end. So that time, the government being very, very optimistic, they planned that in the month of July, everything would be fine. But unfortunately, cases have increased, right? So I would say life is more important than the examination. But let us see the positive sides of this particular order, which has been given by the CBSE yesterday. 95% of kids are happy. Maximum kids of grade 10, they have given all the 5 examinations. Maximum kids of grade 12, they have given their 90% examinations. Only 1 or 2 are left, right? And even when 1 or 2 are left, what's happening? CBSE is considering out of 4, best 3, average of best 3. And if not 3, best of two averages. So kids would be benefited by such kind of average methods. So, and at the same time, CBSE also ensured the kids are not anxious, right? So there would be 1 to 2% always cautioning all the decisions. So this keeps such kind of issues will keep coming. So they would be 2% not happy because they did not do well throughout the year. They were expecting their final exams to be very, very good and they could get good marks. Doesn't matter, right? 1 marks here and there is not going to impact your life. And 1 year here and there is not going to impact your life. I remember when we were in college, university, there was Mandal Ayog, 1989 probably. 1989, the Mandal Ayog came and there were strikes all over India. 3 months universities were closed. Exams were cancelled. So 1 semester was postponed. So MSc, instead of 2 years, was completed in 2.5 years. So there is nothing called 2.5 years, ultimately 3 years. So 1 year here and there doesn't matter. So I think we should not get worried. Even if exams are not conducted, it's fine. Even if averages are given, it's fine. Even if schools' internal assessments, which are very, very genuine, I would say more genuine than one final exam because there are small combination of different kind of assessments. So school exams are very, very serious where teachers, they know their kids so well. So even if internal assessments are considered for the final evaluation, I should welcome and everybody should welcome. So nothing to worry. They have been given many options. You can consider average number 1. You can opt for the examination number 2, and there is a possibility to give the improvement examination if you are not happy. So I think all possible options, chances are given to each and every child. So therefore, there should not be any worry, and parents should be happy and contented.
And this is the way even for to show resilience among the student.
Absolutely, absolutely. See, such kind of incidents are beyond control. No? You cannot do anything about it. So think positive. Let's find out the solution and move ahead. There is no point crying on spilt milk.
Definitely, it's not happening just with anyone, or everyone is in the same boat. We all are sailing in the same boat.
Very good. Absolutely. So nothing special.
Yes, it is for everyone. It is not for just for one school or one section. This is happening. This is happening all over the nation, all over the world. This is the case. And everybody is facing these challenges. So we have to be resilient. We have to be positive. We have to be optimistic. Definitely. And
yeah, Kavita, right message.
And Mr. Sachdeva, I really like to know from you that any idea when many people have this question, when will schools will reopen and what will be the challenges faced?
So my guess is as good as yours, right? And I guess my guess is as good as everybody's guess who is in this webinar. No one knows. So opening of school is still a distant option. As of now, HRD has announced that further decision will be taken on 15th August. So 15th August, they are going to take the decision. No? So that can be again further postponed. So schools in containment zone may not open along with others. So therefore, let us think about something else. I would see that such kind of situation has given us opportunity. Why not to talk about hybrid education, online, offline, exam.net, Zoom, Google, variety of options. You could use any options. Why? As I say many times that, education is not like a product, an ice cream. I'm going to give you one ice cream, take it. Right? It's a long process every time, anytime, everywhere. While eating at home, while sleeping, while talking, while interacting, while playing, you are learning something. So education means learning something. Education nothing to do with rote and books, right? So I would say yes, there are concerns because if we are going through this online education, I would say unequal educational opportunities is a concern for kids, those who are not able to afford at smaller areas, slum areas. So I think there's a pause, I would say. Pause is the right word in academics, but not in learning. So learning and academics, let us keep separate. So learning is happening every time. Academics depending on some kind of structure. That structure can be syllabus. That structure can be monthly syllabus, quarterly syllabus, right? And examination assessment. But yes, we have solutions for all. Keep health protocols in mind, right? Transport, infra, etc. We must look into all the possible difficulties, and then we'll find out the solution when time will come. And I must tell you, every school is ready with something or other. Let us wait for the government decision, because they are the one who knows more than us in which state, how many cases, how it is spreading, right? Whether this is in control or not. So let the central government along with state government take the decision. We must follow them. This is the way we should look forward.
Definitely, we know all the educators, all the schools are definitely already planning how to, prepare in case it doesn't open. And if it opens, every school is trying to have their own processes in place, their own structure in place, how to manage, the physical distance and how to educate. And definitely all the schools teachers are preparing for it, but we have to appreciate our government and trust our government that they'll be taking right decision. And ultimately is the question of the life of the youth, of the children, of the future of the nation. So
Yes.
we have to be patient, and we have to be really go with what future throws at us. Nobody can predict, rightly
Absolutely.
said by you, like we cannot predict that. uh, but in all this scenario, uh, people always talk about the dark side of COVID-19. Harvinder ji, I like to ask you, you know because I had put the first question to you about the how overwhelming the things are. And so I like to ask you about the even the opportunities that this COVID-19 uh, has thrown at us. It has brought a lot of opportunity for people to rediscover themselves, to learn new things. I would really want you to please say something on this. Harvinder ji, unmute yourself because you're on mute. Yes.
Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay. See, every dark cloud has a silver lining. So I feel personally this pandemic and this lockdown has brought many opportunities for each one of us. And as far as if we talk about learning, there is no lockdown for learning. So Sir has also said correctly, okay, we should keep learning and academics separately. We are learning so many new things in our day-to-day life. As far as our education system is concerned, each and every stakeholder involved in this thing, they are putting in their best so that children's learning should not hamper at any stage. Be it we have adopted as per the need of the student requirement. If children are take example of our online classes, if our children are not able to attend our online classes, then what we do the same thing, we put it as video on WhatsApp. Even some children, they do not have smartphones at home. There are families where there is only one phone, two children are studying, parents are also working from home. If for those children, you know what we have done, and I'm sure other principals, other teachers, other schools, they also must have done this thing. We have put those links on our website. so that whenever children they visit our website, they can take that link. And Diksha is a very good platform. So we have taken help from these kind of platforms, and we have tried to put our content on our website so that we should be able to reach to each and every student. And at times it is not easy also to conduct class for all the students, keeping their constraints in mind. So these are the methods which we have adopted. Apart from that, this was as far as education is concerned. And not only, we are not only doing or running with completing our syllabus, we are doing each and everything. We are having house competitions. We have celebrated Earth Day. Whatever days are coming, we are trying that our children are engaged in those activities. Then apart from that, summer break was there. I'm sure all the schools must have done as we have done. We've organized summer camp for our students, wherein we have taken care of all the, so that all kind of activities child should be able to do while at home, be it their physical activities or their recreational activities, emotional things. We have also kept those things also in mind. We had mindfulness topics for our students, sessions for our students, and I'm sure each and every school is doing, must be working for the overall development of the students. Only thing is, ways have little changed, and we all see, if we talk about 18th or 19th of March, we were not as equipped as we are today. So as and when we felt the need, we tried to updated our knowledge, and we felt that it is because for each and everybody, for each and every person, be it an educator, teacher, principal, management, parents, children are the core of their lives. So we feel that their growth should not be stopped at any way. So we are taking care of their learning part, we are taking care of their entertainment part. And if we talk about otherwise on the whole, see, there is, if that thing, this pandemic had had happened 10 years back, things would have been different. But we must be thankful to technology. Because of this technology, we could adopt various technological ways to be connected with our students at our workplace, with our family members, and we are taking care of each and everything. We are having, as far as health is concerned, we are taking help from telehealth. Things like those kind of apps are also there. So this technology has played a vital role as far as the overall development of not only of the children, for the whole society is concerned. So by keeping their resources in mind, each and everybody is doing their bit so that nothing should be left as far as, most importantly, our children's growth is concerned. So these are the things where we try to be connected with our students. And as far as our personal front is concerned, as parents, I'm sure they also must be getting connected with their own parents. You know, parents are the source of, you can say that is our biggest support system as far as our emotional well-being is concerned. So this pandemic, I feel personally, has brought many new things in our lives, things which we had forgotten. We are trying to revive those things. Friends के साथ कई दिन बातें कई महीनों बात नहीं होती थी. Now we are trying through Zoom or through these kind of platforms, we get connected. We also encourage our children, take help from these kind of apps, and you should also talk to your friends, talk to your cousins, because this thing also play a very important role in children's life when they get a chance to speak to their peer group. So it is very important that we all must take advantage of this technology, and we must try to get benefited as far as this thing is concerned. And we should, it's my request also, and as a human being also, we should not always think about the negative aspects only. Yes, this thing has come, this pandemic has come, it is not good. Many families are suffering, many people are suffering. Everybody is doing their bit to reduce this suffering. But at the same time, whenever we get time, we must, at our level, we must contribute towards our society. We can do it in kind, and we can do it as far as the blessings are concerned, prayers are concerned. Our ultimate aim as an educator is to make our children overall product. So we have to make them sensitive human being, which ultimately when they'll become adults, they should be full-fledged and positive citizens. And they should also keep this, जैसे सर ने अभी बताया, he is remembering his MSc days. They should also remember these days positively, and they should also learn new things, and they should also pen down somewhere, so that later on they must remember that we have really utilized this period, though it is not that happy period. Kahin na kahin there is a pain in the society, but we must keep this thing in mind, that we have to make best use of this time.
Yeah, so rightly said, and that reminds me of one thing, you know, tough people last, tough time just goes away. So we have to be resilient, we have to be positive, and I really like the idea of maintaining a journal. It's a very good idea for the adults, for the everyone, teenage or kids, to understand our emotions and channelize them in a more constructive way.
Yes.
So it's a beautiful tip, I would say, that to maintaining a journal for kids also, for teacher, for everyone. So that helps us to be in control of our emotions and better understanding. And then we can really channelize our emotions accordingly. And before I come to the last question from Mr. Sachdeva, I would really want audience to please type your questions if you have for our panelists. We will be taking up that after this session, after this question. Please write your questions here in the chat box. Sachdeva ji, I'd like to know from you, you know, having said all the things, are schools and parents ready? And to add on to this, I would like even to know, what are the alternatives to school going?
Very good. Good question. Thank you, Kavita. So you have asked two questions with so many parts. So schools, what do you mean by schools? Now, schools are also, I think, infrastructure, physical schools and virtual schools. So let us talk about infrastructure school when kids are going to school. So taking care of infrastructure and other arrangements might be a challenge. But it is the least possible hindrance. Some of the practical measures that schools can take, making school timing short, staggering meal times, holding schools in shift and alternative days, reducing class size, hybrid mode of teaching. Infrastructure, as far as infrastructure is concerned, it is still possible for the schools to devise a variety of methods to ensure that it is very, very conducive, keeping health protocols in mind. But more than physical infrastructure, I think we should be worried about safety. Psychologically, it might be difficult, but for a reason. Now, kids' safety must be first. Now, what do you mean by safety? Safety can be physical for sure. Safety can be emotional safety of each and every child. It can be social safety for each and every child. And fourth, very important, academic safety. Academic safety means every child is provided enough learning material and environment, right? So children being children, might be difficult for them to meet friends and not touch, wearing masks for whole day in the classroom, touching the mask again and again can be a concern. Bringing bags, tiffin, etc., and eating in schools will make very, very, prone to catching infection. But what is the alternate? Do we have alternative to school going? Kavita, if I request you, the host, please mute all the mics
It's all mute.
other than mine.
Okay.
Right. Even if you mute mine and I will unmute myself. So we know that countrywide lockdown to curb the spread of COVID-19 pandemic has derailed the academic schedule in all the schools. With the numbers of coronavirus patients increasing day by day, we must take precautions. In this time of COVID-19, technology has proven to be the best friend of teachers. It has helped us to remain relevant even today when face-to-face classes are not possible. The use of technology, Google Classroom, Zoom classes, different kind of portals like in our school we have Tata Class, Exam.net, Kahoot, smaller kids they are using it. And there are a variety of similar applications which are helping us to reach out to every student. So when technology is playing its vital role, the role of few teachers have become even more important. Between the option of shape up or ship out, teachers chose to shape up and they have made the best out of the challenge provided. I would say challenge is provided to them, not faced. In present scenario, online classes was a viable option, not only to teach the students, but to fill their time with some productive activities. We have to remember that education is a process, not the product. So process can continue. Product may vanish, but not the process. Even when schools reopen, hybrid mode of teaching will be the need of the hour. Classes will have to be flipped and blended. This is because students in containment zone may not come. Parents might not be comfortable sending their kids to the school. In case families are quarantined, students should not miss the education. Government, state government and CBSE also have taken many measures to help students with online educations. You must have read there are many applications, Shagun, in which we have Diksha, we have e-Pathshala, the virtual lab, National Digital Library of India, Swayam, and now government of Gujarat, they have come up with some idea on television, right? So even teachers are using a variety of methods. WhatsApp, they are sending videos. So I think, yes, we have always alternative to education, school going, because many universities, IIT is closed till December. Foreign universities are closed. Kids are taking classes online. So I think we can manage even in such kind of situations when kids are not able to go to schools. Studies are not going to be hampered. Studies are not going to be stopped. And I'm sure the teachers at these times, they have become more and more smart. I think we must salute each and every teacher, right? I think their contribution has not been considered so important in past. I hope that even such kind of atmosphere, they have raised their level, and I think we must acknowledge. So I think though your Zoom had limited capacity, right? So it is
Right.
working to the capacity, 100 participants are there. I
Yes.
hope, I wish you had 400 or 1000 capacity available, but doesn't matter. Probably you have more means and method to send this message to all, that shape up or ship out.
Okay. That's the mantra. Definitely. It's being, really insightful, enriching, and really knowledgeable uh, to sit with you and discuss with you all the questions from both of you, your experience and your knowledge, and that is really, I think, helped each and every one of us. I have some questions in the chat box, so I'll put one by one. Mr. Sachdeva, I'd like to ask you. This question is from Mr. Gurden Singh. He's saying learning is a continuous, while
Yeah.
academic is time bound. How then should academics be then handled in this pandemic, as it marked its imprint?
Very good, very good. I appreciate Mr. Singh. You have asked the right question, because learning is always there without school. Learning happens without schools. Because academic is very, very structured in our system. CBSE, state boards, they have structured, they have made metrics in such a way that they are small segments, right? Now that structured, which we used to question a lot, right? We never, education never liked structured education. But I must tell you, the same structure is helping us today. Because small portions of syllabus divided, right? You know, teachers could even devise methods when they are dividing syllabus on a daily basis. Monday ये करना है, Tuesday ये करना है, Wednesday ये करना है. Small segment. So we are able to complete that academical portion of this structured board. So I think I have answered your question, but at the same time, all this technology is helping us a lot. And the way we have designed our syllabus, I must tell you what happens in DPS. We have divided whole academic year into 180 days. So 180 days into two parts, 90 days, 90 days. So 90 days is term 1, 90 days is term 2. 90 days also divided into 9 cycles. 10 days, 1 cycle. So kids are aware that cycle 1 is going to happen. This is what is taught in cycle 1. Even if somebody is absent on a particular day, they know this portion is going to be covered. So that structure, too much structure, which is questioned in past, is helping us today.
And these are the structure and organized things help us to carry out more smoothly and more planned way we can do it.
Yes.
And Harvinder ji, I'd like to ask you, Goden Singh Only ji, he's asking, need of the students are multiple. How do you match multiple challenges in teaching online? Unmute yourself.
Yes, there are challenges as far as online teaching is concerned, because see, our society and the region where we are, and on the whole our country, we are not a developed country. So not all the households, they are tech savvy, first of all. And as far as network is concerned, it is not reaching to each and every household. As far as devices are concerned, not many people, not many homes, they are having adequate devices where children as well as and the parents, both they can use devices, and they can take care of their working as far as their office work is concerned and their children's education is concerned. Yes, challenges are there. That is why what we are doing, and what I always we try to talk to parents and we try to tell them, if we talk about the devices only, if there is only one device at home. So what we have done, like if the elder child is in the senior section, so we have made our timetable accordingly, so that morning hours elder child should study, should make use of that device, and after lunch break, say about we have made our timetable 7:30 to 9:30, senior children can study, and then break, then small children can study. So this is one way. Second way, there are homes where there are not even smartphone are there in the families. Those are also there. So for them, what we are doing, see, children, they are also very, very accommodative. They are very good. We have requested children that if you can share your work with your friends, those who are staying nearby, so you can share that. And after that, one thing more we have done, we try to make videos, and we try to, as I told you earlier also, we are trying to put our content on school website. Then our teachers, they are too good. Wherever they are staying, they are also making it a point. They are adopting their own ways and means so that they should reach to the students. And but there are challenges. I will not say 100% children are taking 100% benefit of these online classes, but yes, you can say that live classes they may not be able to attend, but we are trying that content should reach to them by adopting these ways and means. So we are trying our best.
I think the idea is not necessarily being live. It's the
Yes,
learning should continue.
yes, yes,
Even if
yes, you
there
are
are
right.
some challenges being online,
Yes,
there's a way to pass on the content,
yes.
the learning that is being transferred. So
Yes,
that is happening, the education is happening, and things are moving forward.
yes,
So I think the very rightly put, and I think many people will benefit. Uh, those who are especially from the places where internet connectivity and one smartphone, these are the challenges. They are the real challenges which are there,
yes, yes, yes,
and we have to look for some innovative and out of box thinking ideas to make the education, uninterrupted. um, and as it is an emotional thing, the theme is today, Mr. Sachdeva, I like to, there's a question which says that positivities are easy to be said then done. With increase in online crimes, depression cases, increasing dissatisfaction and isolation is in height. How does one relate to positivity? Example he's given, Sushant Singh Rajput. So
Okay, good. Somebody raised this question. I appreciate. Do you have a choice? If you want to be positive, positive for what? हम कभी कभी ये बोलते हैं, बड़ी बार बोलते हैं रादर कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल हम बोलते हैं वी नीड टू बी ए गुड लिसनर, राइट? हमको सबकी बात सुननी चाहिए. अब मत सुनो ना किसी की बात. अगर किसी की बात नहीं सुनोगे, नुकसान किसको होगा? आप ही को होगा ना, राइट? सो व्हेन वी पिक अप any kind of skill, we pick up such kind of skills to make our life more comfortable and easy, right? जब हम कहते हैं कि हमको पॉजिटिव रहना है, पॉजिटिव रहने का मतलब ये है कि whatever the circumstance is, that is the reality, that is the truth. वो आज है, तो जो आज है उसको मैनेज करना है तो पॉजिटिविटी से ही मैनेज होगा. जो होगा वो कल होगा, उसके बारे में आई कैन डू नथिंग. जो हो चुका है उसको आप वापस नहीं ला सकते. So therefore, every time, whenever there is a crisis, we must teach our kids, take the life the way it is. और इसी को लर्निंग बोलते हैं. एक मैं काफी शब्द यूज करता हूं, मैं आज दोबारा यूज करूंगा, मेरे काफी टीचर्स भी बैठे हुए यहाँ पे. देखिए जो समय होता है ना, समय, आप समय को बांध नहीं सकते. क्या टाइम को रोक सकते हैं क्या? लेकिन फिर भी हम काफी बार अपने तकिया कलाम में बोलते हैं कि समय बंध गया. बोलते हैं कि नहीं बोलते? कि आज तो समय बांध दिया सिंह साहब ने, गुरदान साहब ने, समय थम गया. कि समय थम गया या बांध दिया, उसका मतलब ये होता है व्हेन वी हैव यूटिलाइज आवर टाइम वेरी वेल. जब हम अपने समय को ढंग से कंज्यूम करते हैं, उसी को बांधना बोलते हैं, और वो होता है लिविंग इन प्रेजेंट. मैं अपनी ये आज की वेबिनार खत्म करूंगा एक स्टेटमेंट के साथ. एक हिंदी की कविता है, उसमें एक बड़ा सा वो आयरनी है, उसको पकड़िए मैं क्या बोलना चाह रहा हूं. कहते हैं कि जो चल रहा है वो ही खड़ा है, खड़े हुए नहीं कि गिरे. द पर्सन हु इज ऑन मूव इज ओनली स्टैंडिंग. इफ यू स्टैंड यू विल फॉल. तो रुकोगे तो गिरोगे, चलते रहोगे तो रुके रहोगे. With these words, thank you so very much, all of you. Good participation, big number. You have spared your valuable time. Thank you so very much to you. Thank you हरविंदर कौर मैम, आपसे मिलके अच्छा लगा इसी बहाने. Thank you मैम. We'll come back to Delhi and meet you.
Harvinder ji, we have a token of gratitude for all of you. Just a second, please give me some time. Harvinder ji, this is a small token of gratitude from our side to you.
Yep, very good. Digital.
We are
digital
really honored to have you. And Mr. Sachdeva, it's a token of gratitude from our side for your precious time and your learnings, your insight, and sharing with us.
Thank you very
Kavita,
much.
may I add one thing, please, if you don't mind?
Sure, ma'am, sure.
See, Sir has beautifully answered the last question. May I add one thing to that beautiful answer? See, we prepare our children, we make them full-fledged human beings. We are worried about their IQs. And we must, as parents, we must work for their emotional quotient also. Not
Very
only
good. Well
that,
said.
yes,
Well
we
said.
have to make them a balanced human being. We must teach them how to work for their emotional growth, and we also must educate them. We also must educate them for taking the adversities of life. See, life is full of challenges, so we must prepare them well so that when things are not that cool, things are not that positive, adverse environment is there, we have to come out of that as a strong human being. We have to come out of that situation strongly. So this is my message for the parents. Kindly, we as teachers, we are also working for this thing, and it's our request also to the parents to prepare them well emotionally to face the challenges of life so that they should lead their life as successful human being. And this was my small little suggestion for the parents. Thank you so much for this beautiful session. We are really indebted to Career Beacon, K-12. It was such a fruitful session. I learned a lot from sir, and thank you so much.
All the best, ma'am. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Pleasure to have both of you, and it was a wonderful session. I believe each and every one of us will agree. And it was a more or a holistic thing, you know, how the learning is continuing despite all the challenges, and how to be positive and emotionally strong. And a wonderful key we had from Mr. Sachdeva that it is not a social distancing, it is a physical distancing that is happening. We are still socially connected and we are together in this period. And when Harvinderji beautifully said about, you know, writing the things, maintaining a journal of our emotions, how we are going through the challenges, how we overcame. And once after some time, when you will see that journal, you will realize that, you know, how beautifully I have grown. Even a child, a teacher, a parent, it will be a beautiful thing to, you know, throw back, to understand. And we should not be focusing on academics, how the things are moving, but rightly put by both the speakers that emotional, you know, emotional health at this time is very critical for a student, for a teacher, for a parent, and we are all together in this. It is something, a challenge that is we all are facing. It is not limited to any individual. It is as a whole we are facing it. And thank you for the wonderful, beautiful session. Siddharth, if you please come and you know, extend a vote of thanks to everyone.
Hi. Hello, welcome everyone.
Sunanda,
Kavita, can you,
video.
yeah. Kavita, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Video, I think.
Yeah, I think my video is there. Is it not there?
No.
Okay, let me stop. Is it okay now? Am I visible?
No.
Uh-oh. 1 second. Let me offer the vote of thanks without video only. Let people listen to me. First of all, I'm so sorry. Many of you are not able to see through the YouTube, and I'm getting left, right, and center all the messages. We are extremely sorry for that, but our session is getting recorded and it will be uploaded. I'm sure Harvinder ma'am and Surinder sir has done the justice with the topic that people are so interested that they want to actually see the session. My apologies for everyone who has not been able to attend the session due to the problem that we are not able to go live on that. But recording shall be uploaded very shortly. Arvinda ma'am, as usual, you are always awesome. The way you have shared the insight that how the social distancing and other things can be done. And Surinder sir, you were charismatic because the inputs that you have provided are really, good and very interesting. I'm sure we can share a very good content on the Career Beacon about the topic that you have shared, and people have liked that. Thank you so much from our end for joining to this session. Kavita, have we done the honors of sharing the token of love with them?
Yes, I have.
Okay, that's really good. And I would sincerely thank our partners, Yen, especially Siddharth, who has been ensuring that everything is technically sound from the background, as Kavita was handling everything from the front end. And audience, once again, thank you so much for an overwhelming response. Kavita, thank you for being the first hand and leading the show for today. That was really awesome. And we must thank all the principals who have joined, all the teachers who have joined, especially our speakers, Mr. Surinder Sachdeva and Harvinder Kaur ma'am. We look forward to see you in the future sessions also.
Pleasure is ours.
Thank you. And I don't know why my video is not working today. That's okay. Sometimes it's good to be invisible and people can hear it out to us.
You've got such a beautiful voice. That is
Thank you, ma'am. You made the day.
beautiful, very sweet voice. God bless you. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you, Kavita. So wonderfully organized. Everything was so good. Thank you so much, K12. Thank you for giving this opportunity to learn a lot from you people.
My
Thank you
pleasure
so much.
to have.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And please write the feedbacks and
Yeah, please share the feedback. We will be sharing the feedback form with you on
Already shared.
the WhatsApp. Yeah, on the WhatsApp as well as on the group and the mailers also. Once again, we are sorry that we could not go on to on the YouTube right now. Let's see what is the problem so that we are not facing the similar kind of problem tomorrow. Thank you so much for staying tuned with us. And tomorrow we are going to come with another set of very great principals and the speakers who will be there. Surinder sir, thank you so much for your valuable time and all the audience, especially the principals who have joined us today to hear out our experts of today, Ms. Harvinder Kaur and Surinder Sachdeva. Thank you, Kavita, for doing all the things. And I hope everyone is safe and we will see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock.
thank you.
Thank you so much.